Capricorn, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early April 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cappies. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the Capricorn collective in early April 2025? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for the Cappies in early April. What's the vibe? What's the energy here for my good friends as we switch seasons? What's happening? I always think April's a beautiful time of year. It's my birthday month, actually. Okay, cool. So I like this. I feel like I've been seeing this sprinkled in for a few other earth signs in recent weeks. I love that woman's hairdo. It always puts a smile on my face when I see her. I'm like, oh, that's unique. So it tells me the energy itself is pretty unique. Very creative, and there's a lot of little undertones to this card. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the April subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this unique woman with her awesome hairdo right here. So notice, she's sitting in front of a sewing machine. There's a rainbow coming out of it, and she is holding a golden thread. So to me, first and foremost, this is a very creative, artisanal type of energy. So just know the creative juices could be flowing. For a lot of Cappies, you could be very imaginative. Now, the downside to that is that sometimes it could be overthinking. So just watch that you're not overthinking things or overcomplicating things. But now could be a great time to express yourself in a variety of different ways, whether it's writing, art, just letting those juices flow. Now, a big thing I always say about the sewing machine and the golden thread, this is a really good card for problem solving, for fixing things, for solving issues, for solving any sort of problem. I feel like this is really good. So there could be a whole variety of things that you could really mend in this time when she's here. And also the fact that I feel like she's just very unique for some reason. So I don't know, maybe some of you are going through unique situations. Maybe you're switching up your look. That could definitely be it. Not saying you're going to get the same hairdo, but you could be switching it up. We're going to let her chill over there, keep doing the sewing. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card here doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the Cappies. What's happening, please, in early April? And while we get these cards out, or shuffled up, let's talk about last week's reading. Really good energy, a lot of fiery energy. The reading was titled An Explosive Wind. So just know that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. But to me, it felt like something coming in hot and heavy, some sort of situation coming to a head, and just felt very explosive. So it could be something that happened suddenly. So I always say wins and victories come in all different shapes and sizes, whether it's work, business, personal relations. So just know you might be seeing various wins in those areas, but we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Cappy. What's happening here in April, please? Thank you. Okay. So 2 cards popped out together. We have the 9 of Swords and the Magician. These are kind of different. I mean, the 9 of Swords is a little stressed out. Not saying it's you. It could be someone you're connected to for sure. But the energy is wound tight. But I do like this Magician because it's like, I got it. I got this under control. So again, there's good energy here with that first oracle, and now with what we're seeing for problem solving already. Let's get another card out here. Don't want to speak on it too much just yet. But what do we have for Cappy? Thank you. Okay. We're going to have a bonus this week. We have double 9s showing up. We have the 9 of Wands right here on the back end, which that is someone with their guard up, very peculiar. And we have the 4 of Pentacles right here on the back end. The energy does feel way more clunky than it did last week, that's for sure. Because last week it was very fiery, moving forward. These energies, not so much. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. and we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, we do have some themes starting to show up. Obviously, there's a lot of repeating numbers, especially with the double nines, and then we have the Magician with the infinity symbol. So whenever I see alignments like this, it's like, all right, watch out for the repeating numbers, the signs, the omens from spirit, whether they're trying to give you a heads up or whether it's encouraging you. That could be really good. But the one thing I always say about all the nines, and even with that bonus card on the back end, is that they're not really moving. They're kind of stuck in place. So we definitely want to clarify them and see what's up. In the main part of the spread, we do have the fire and air, which does have potential for things to spark off, but I just feel there's a tense energy in the air. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build it out. Position number one, we are starting with the Nine of Swords. And I always say when it comes to this card, you don't really need to be an expert to understand what the Nine of Swords means. See this individual, they're sitting up in bed. They got their face in their hands. So, of course, the first thing that I always think, all right, someone's a little tense. Someone is a little stressed, anxious, nervous, very much wound tight. Now, this could actually link to sleep itself. So if you're having sleep issues, insomnia, this could even show up if you're having really weird, vivid dreams, especially with the number signs and the Magician. So watch your dreams in this time. Spirit could be trying to get messages through to you. But the main thing with this card, it's absolutely someone that's stressed out. Now, in the more positive sense, the Nine of Swords to me is paranormal, and it could also represent a sensitivity to energy, which isn't always a bad thing. It's good it helps navigate situations when you're sensitive, when your intuition's telling you something. So just know in this time you could have a heightened sense of intuition when the Nine of Swords is here. But we just want to see, like, what's all this stress about? Who's stressing something? I mean, we might get an answer when we get to the back end here. I feel like this could be a mixed bag type of reading, potentially. So let's get this tucked in by the amethyst and keep moving forward. In the center, we have our good pal here, the Magician. That's one of my favorite cards in the whole entire deck. Huge energy for manifesting and creating. I personally believe we're all creator beings, right? I'm not saying we're responsible for every single thing that's happening in our lives right now, but I really do feel that we could attract things into our life if we want to. Now, this card does have a lot of slick undertones. Notice the Magician has every single element out on the table. This is the master of all elements, so the Magician is in control. Okay, so there could be situations involving control, whether it's something you're going through where it's like, no, I need to take the wheel, I need to control this and how it looks. Maybe some of you are going through situations where it's a little out of your hands, right? When I see the Magician, it's like, okay, Spirit, whatever will be, will be. I guess it really depends on your situations at the moment. But I love this for manifesting. And also it fits the theme with this Nine of Swords where it's heightened energetically. So just know for a lot of you, you could really have a strong sensitivity and intuition in this time when this card is here. The challenge of the Magician, it could be a little too controlling. It could be overly controlling. So whether you're dealing with a controlling individual, that's very much my way or the highway. Or it could be certain things where it's like, I'm trying to direct this ship, but I just can't for whatever reason. We need to look into it further, of course. And the Magician is very strong when it comes to spirituality, ritual. So it's an interesting mixture. It is also karmic, especially with that infinity symbol over his head. Now, moving to the back end, this is definitely intriguing me quite a bit because we do have the Wounded Warrior. There are some really good aspects to this card, and we'll start with the positives. When I see the Nine of Wands, I feel like this is a very protective type of energy. Could be a little territorial. This could represent somebody that's been through quite a lot, right? I've been through a lot of things. I've been around the block a few times. You're not going to pull one over on me. That's a big thing with this Nine of Wands. It's a card of somebody that could still be healing from something. So if you have any recent wounds, they still might be a little fresh. When I see the Nine of Wands, it's also very, very skeptical. It's like, I'm watching you. I got my eye on something. So I'm not sure. Could it link into this tense energy we're seeing in the front? In its roughest case, this could represent shutting down communication, blocking people out. It could even be rejections. So whether it's rejecting a thought pattern, rejecting an individual, rejecting a habit. When I see the Nine of Wands, it's like, oh, I'm putting my wall up. Nope, no thanks, not right now. So we're going to have to see. It can be a little problematic sometimes, but it's not all bad. Now, moving to your bonus card while we get this Nine of Wands back over here by the Celestite, we have the Four of Pentacles. And this card to me, when it comes to money and finance, this is awesome. it's a neutral card, and when it comes to relationships, it could be a little rough. But let's talk about the positives. This is great for saving money. This is an awesome card for investing, growing. It's a bit of a frugal card, nothing wrong with that. But when I see the Four of Pentacles, I think of stacking those pentacles. So whether you're saving up for a big purchase, whether it's saving for retirement, or just saving in general, this is a good energy to have. It's holding on to stuff. Now, the challenge is the same thing, right? It's holding on to stuff. In its worst case, it could be someone that's a little jealous, a little possessive, or it could be a situation where it's like, oh, this is still bothering me. I can't quite let something go. So we definitely want to look into this further. Let's put him down there. Yeah, Cappy, I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for my Cappies. Let's see what's happening, please. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Nine of Swords. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cappy, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Nine of Swords time. What's happening? Shaking my table over here. Let's see, why is the Nine of Swords here? Thank you. Okay, I mean, I feel like it could be worse. We do have the Six of Wands. That's usually a card of like victory, coming out on top. Now, for some people, this could just be absolutely stressing. It's like all or nothing type of energy. It's like, all right, well, if I'm not first, I'm last. Or if this doesn't go my way, everything's sunk. I have this odd feeling where someone feels like if it's not ideal, if it doesn't go exactly how I want it, then what's the point? It's giving me that energy. I'm not saying that's you. Remember, now the Six of Wands, I could represent a Leo. Usually it's a card of victory, overcoming things. It's very, very confident. So this could represent somebody that is very confident on the outside, but on the inside, they're a little shooken up. So I could most definitely see somebody putting on like a tough outer shell, but inside they're like kind of a mess. They're like very anxious, nervous for whatever reason. Now, it just feels super peculiar to me. This could be a good thing. This could definitely, especially with what's going through the rest of the reading. But those are the main intuitive things I'm feeling so far. So either one could be somebody that's all or nothing. Like if it's not this way, there's no point in doing it. If I'm not first, I'm last. It's either that or someone that has a very confident outer shell, but on the inside, they're really going through it. So we're going to keep moving. Yeah, it's a very stressed, anxious, nervous type of energy. So we're just going to keep pushing. Doesn't have to be bad. So let's see why the Magician's in the mix. I really want to get over to that Nine of Wands. So why is the Magician here? And I always say, regardless of things and issues you're going through, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like the Magician can be hopeful for us here. So nothing is ever set in stone. Okay. Now, we do have the Six of Wands in reverse. This could represent wanting to give something another go, another redo. If that's not you, it could be somebody trying to manifest like another chance or another shot. It's like, oh, if I could do that one more time, or if I ever get the chance to do this again, I'm going to take it without even thinking. That's the big vibe I'm picking up here. Notice we have double repeating numbers here. So we have the nines. Now we got the sixes with the Six of Swords in reverse. Now the Six of Swords in reverse can represent something returning, something coming back around. It's not going away. It's swooping back, which I saw for you a couple weeks ago. So since I've seen it twice within 3 weeks, just know that a lot of things could be popping back up, whether you're manifesting something back or whether someone you're connected to might be manifesting something back. It's just giving me that vibe of like, if I had another go, if I had another chance, I would do it this way or differently. So we're just going to keep it moving. Okay, I would say just be very cautious about things flaring back up, certain situations, I mean, it doesn't always have to be a challenge, but I feel like things could flare back up when I see the Magician with the Six of Swords. The energy does feel prepared, though. Let's move in on the Nine of Wands, then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So what is this Nine of Wands about? Then we'll do our recap. So what's it doing? Why is that Nine of Wands here for my good Cappy friends? Okay, I mean, this energy, it's such an odd mixture. Because I feel regardless of what you might be going through, it's not all bad. for whatever reason. So there could be situations where they're not so easily explained, where it's like, but it's not all terrible. It's not all bad. There are some bright spots. That's kind of the vibe I'm picking up here, because yes, we have the stress and anxiety and wanting to try something a different way. But when I see the Empress in reverse, that's an energy, if you're not dealing with a Taurus or a Libra, it can be very much holding firm, especially underneath, because that's a challenge with the Empress. It's an energy that can be very heavy. It can be like very set, very stubborn. So when I see it underneath this Nine of Wands, it's one of two things. Either it's rejecting something, saying like, you know what, I can't right now. I don't have the energy for it. So again, whether it's a thought process, a habit, a person, a situation, there's like a natural pushback. It could just represent a problem too, right? Because with the Nine of Wands and this Empress in reverse, it's like, it's an energy that's stuck. Can it be overcome? Absolutely. But the energy is just so peculiar this week, where it's not all bad. It's not all good. It's not all bad, though. Let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. Lots of stuff here, Capricorn. But if you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have, through the whole reading, we have a lot of repeat numbers, the repeat 9s, the repeat 6s, but the 9 of Swords with the 6 of Wands in the upright, very peculiar or very particular, saying that, if it doesn't go perfect, I don't want it. Or if it doesn't go this specific way, there's no point. If I'm not first, I'm last type of energy. But I also got the vibe of someone that has a strong outer shell, but on the inside, they're very much ramped up, anxious, nervous type of vibe. Moving to the center, we have the Magician with the 6 of Swords in reverse. Watch out for things popping back up, people, situations. It's an energy that continues to loop back around. I also got the vibe of someone saying, if I could give this another try, I'd do it different, or somebody wanting a redo of some sort. So just watch out for things like that, because there is manifestation happening. Moving to the back end, we have the 9 of Wands with the Empress in reverse. This is most definitely a rejection of something. Either that, or you might just be very much on guard at this time. Like, I'm watching this, I'm keeping an eye on this. But the energy does feel a little bit gunked up to me and like set in its ways. So if it's not an active rejection of a situation, thought process, or an individual, it could just be an issue where it seems like it's stuck. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And again, what I was saying, it's not all bad. There's like bright spots. So it could be very complex situations for some of you. But yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a bad thing. And yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. So let's get this shadow card out. What do we got for Cappy, please? What do we got in the shadows? Thank you. All right, 5 of Pentacles. I've seen this shadow card for a few different signs. And the 5 of Pentacles, yeah, watch financial things, especially since we had the 4 of Pentacles earlier. Now the 5 of Pentacles here. Now might be a great time to invest or stack money. That's always a big thing with this card in its positive sense. But watch out for feelings of isolation. For some Capricorns, you might need to socialize a little bit, get out, mix it up. Some of you might be in hermit mode with this card, because the 5 of Pentacles, yeah, it could represent a difficult time, but to me it's isolated. It's a little bit lonely. This could represent someone missing you, or you missing somebody else as well, especially if you're watching this for like relationship things. But I always feel like watch the isolation. Nothing wrong with some you time, right? There's nothing wrong with taking some time for yourself. But there's a possible need to get out there and mix it up and socialize and expand your horizons in that way. And just, yeah, watch the money, watch the spending. But yeah, Capricorn, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the April subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me and get a little further insight into your situation, you can check out my digital calendar on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The April calendar is up, so feel free to go check it out and book. But for the April subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies, not 2, of one of my favorite decks of all time, the Gilded Tarot Royale. It's a gorgeous deck and it works fantastic. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, if you could pick one tarot card to best describe you, which one would it be? Are you the Empress? Are you the High Priestess? Are you the Emperor, the Moon, the Sun? You put your answer down in the comments, you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.